Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name is Charles. When someone you love turns around and throws everything you built together right back in your face, you're left with two choices. You either fall apart or you stand tall and take action. When my girlfriend Allison texted me saying she had found someone else and wanted nothing to do with me, I made a move she never expected. By the end of the week, it wasn't Allison texting me. It was her lawyer. I first met Allison through a female friend I trusted during a period when my life was finally coming together. I had been at the firm for 3 years by then, consistent, reliable, and hardworking. Slowly, my efforts started paying off. One afternoon, the senior partner called me into his office. After a short but serious conversation, I walked out holding a promotion letter. It wasn't luck or a quick miracle. I'd earned that promotion through countless late nights and weekends buried in contracts. But it still felt incredible. The promotion came with better pay, a monthly allowance, and even a company SUV. It looked so polished that when I parked in front of my old apartment, it felt completely out of place. That's when I knew it was time for a change. I moved into a better apartment in a quieter neighborhood, a place that matched where my life was heading. Around that time, I told my friend I was open to meeting someone. A week or two later, she said, "I think I know someone for you. She's on the quiet side, but I think you two would really click." And that's how I met Allison. From the first time we talked, I felt something different about her. She was kind, driven, and supportive when I needed it most. I'll admit, a big reason I trusted her early on was because of a friend who introduced us. I figure if my friend vouched for her, Allison had to be genuine. Months later, as our relationship deepened, Allison started facing financial struggles. She'd mentioned being short on groceries or needing to cover a few bills. I didn't think twice about it. I helped. It didn't feel like a burden. I wanted to make her life easier. One evening over dinner, she opened up about how drained she felt by the 9 to 5 life. She told me she wanted to break free and start something of her own, an online shop selling fashion items, accessories, and lifestyle products. I encouraged her, asked her questions about her plan, how she'd market it, how she'd structure things. But just a week or so later, I found out she had already quit her job, without ever mentioning it to me. When she finally told me, I just stared at her for a moment before asking, "What preparations did you make before walking away?" She told me she had saved a bit. When I asked how much, my stomach sank. It wasn't nearly enough to support her for more than a month or two. No steady income while she built the business from scratch. I gently asked if she had thought about how long it takes for a business to even break even, let alone make a profit. She brushed off my concerns, saying she had a solid plan, and that things would pick up within a few weeks. She was so confident that I second-guessed myself, but deep down, I wasn't convinced. Unfortunately, my doubts were right. The store barely got off the ground before failing. Sales didn't come in, her savings dwindled, and soon her rent was overdue. Then one day, she called me in tears. Her car had been repossessed. I couldn't stand by and watch someone I loved spiral. I told her to move in with me. I had space. I was already covering my own bills, so it made sense. I even gave her the keys to my old car, since I was using the company SUV. Not long after she moved in, I started getting strange phone calls. I ignored them at first, thinking they were spam, until one day I picked up. "Your girlfriend owes us money," the voice said. "If she doesn't pay soon, we'll take legal action." I was completely blindsided. Allison had never mentioned any debt. I hung up, called her immediately. No answer. I left her a voice note demanding an explanation. Hours later, she texted back apologizing and admitting the debt was real, blaming it on the failed business. She begged me to help her pay it off, promising she'd repay me later. I was upset, mostly because she'd hidden it from me until it became a crisis, but I still paid the debt. Eventually, she came to me with a new business plan, explaining what she'd learned from her first failure and how she'd do things differently. I listened and agreed to lend her money to restart. She began using my old laptop, and I didn't think twice about it. Slowly, my apartment started feeling like our apartment, at least to her. But in reality, I was still paying for everything. I stayed patient because I believed in her. And eventually, things began turning around. Her site gained traction, orders started rolling in, and customers tagged her online. For the first time, it looked like her dream might actually work. I was proud of her. I had always imagined marrying Allison, but I'd waited. Now that she was financially independent, it felt like the right time. Quietly, I contacted her sister to help plan the perfect proposal. I even had a custom ring made, spending a good chunk of my savings. But I didn't care. Then everything changed one night. It had been a long day for both of us. Neither of us felt like cooking, so I offered to order takeout. I grabbed her phone to use her DoorDash account. But as I scrolled, I saw something that made my stomach tighten. Tinder. I opened it. Dozens of messages. Men flirting with her, complimenting her looks, asking her out. Worst of all, she was replying. I called her name. She walked in, drying her hands, and I held out the phone. "What is this?" I asked. She glanced at it, shrugged, and said, "It's nothing. I don't meet anyone. I just like the attention sometimes." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. No, I didn't find evidence she had met anyone yet. But that wasn't the point. What if I hadn't caught it? How far would it have gone next week? That night, lying in bed beside her, I couldn't even bring myself to kiss her goodnight. Something in me had shifted. The days that followed were tense. Allison seemed to pick fights over little things, as if trying to paint me as the bad guy. When I confronted her and told her it was betrayal, she turned it around, called me controlling, insecure. One evening, after a particularly heated fight, she grabbed her purse and left. I thought she'd cool off and come back like always, but she didn't. Around midnight, I texted her, "Where are you?" No reply. The next morning, I woke up to a message from her. "I found someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. Don't call or text me again." My heart dropped. Anger, hurt, disbelief. Everything hit at once. But instead of blowing up her phone, I simply replied, "As you wish." When I got home from work that evening, it was clear she had been there while I was gone. Most of her things were gone, along with my old car, my laptop, and even some electronics and household items I bought myself. That was the moment I realized this was final. I called my lawyer. I told him we needed to talk first thing in the morning. The next day, I sat across from him, listing everything Allison had taken and the money tied to her name. "I want it all back," I said. "Every cent, every item. I work for all of it, and she doesn't get to walk away with it." My lawyer drafted a formal demand letter. It required the immediate return of the car, the laptop, and repayment of what she owed, or we'd take her to court. She ignored it, so we filed a formal complaint. Soon after, I got a call from an unknown number. It was her lawyer, already trying to talk me down. "We need to discuss this," he said. "No," I replied calmly. "You can talk to my lawyer. And yes, I intend to take back everything that's legally mine and maybe more." From that moment, everything went through legal channels. Court dates were set, documents filed, and to her surprise, I had every receipt, proof of ownership, bank transfers, even texts where she admitted she owed me money. I had a rock-solid case. That's when Allison's side tried to settle privately. She suddenly wanted to negotiate. I told her she could return everything, pay back every cent, and cover my legal fees, or we'd move forward with the case. Eventually, she returned the car and the laptop, but when it came to the money, she claimed her business wasn't doing well and asked for time. I didn't argue. I let the court handle it. The judge set up a structured payment plan, and by the time everything was finalized, I wasn't even angry anymore. Allison made her first payment on time. I wondered if she'd stick with it, but I kept my distance. Then, during the second month, she sent me a voice note out of nowhere. Her tone was soft, apologetic. She said she regretted how she ended things, and asked if we could at least be friends. I didn't respond with anger. I just replied, "Please just focus on paying what you owe." But she didn't stop. More messages followed. She tried to bring up happy memories, as though nostalgia could erase the way she left. I was done. I sent one last message. All future communication should go through my lawyer. And that was it. Now, I'm focused on moving forward. I've learned that protecting your peace sometimes means letting others deal with the fallout of their own choices. I was once the man who supported her dreams, but now I'm a man who knows what he deserves and what he no longer owes to anyone.